Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is me, Atiq Ahmad. Today we are going to study the topic significance of meiosis. In the previous lecture, we have studied the meiosis. Today we are going to study the significance of meiosis, or in other words, the importance of meiosis. Meiosis is significant for reproduction and inheritance. Meiosis is necessary not only to maintain the number of chromosomes in the next generation, but also to produce variations in the next generation. Now, meiosis is basically significant for both purposes, for reproduction and for inheritance. Because through the process of meiosis, the gametes, the sperm and egg are produced. And through the process of fertilization, the sperm and egg fuse together to form zygote. Then the zygote, through the process of division, produce new cells and develop into a new offspring. So this is reproduction basically. So meiosis is required for reproduction because through the process of meiosis, the gametes are produced, which is used in the sexual reproduction. It is also required for inheritance, for the transmission of characters from parents to offspring. Meiosis maintains the number of chromosomes in the next generation and also produce variations. We have already studied that in the prophase of meiosis 1, the prophase 1, the crossing over process takes place. Through the process of crossing over, the segments of chromosomes are exchanged with each other. So the two homologous chromosomes exchange their segments, and in this way the DNA is exchanged with the two chromosomes. So this exchange process creates new recombinations, and this basically produces new variations. So the offsprings usually vary from their parents. They are slightly different from their parents. This is because of the crossing over process in the meiosis. Now we are moving towards the teaching points. Formation of gametes for sexual reproduction. Meiosis is essential for sexual reproduction. Meiosis is essential for sexual reproduction because sexual reproduction is based on the gametes, the sperms and egg, and those sperm and eggs are basically produced through the process of meiosis. In animals, including humans, the parent cells, those are called gamete mother cells, with diploid number of chromosomes undergo meiosis to produce haploid gametes, sperm in males and egg in females. In animals, including humans, in the males in the testes and in the female in the ovary, there are gamete mother cells. Those are diploid cells. They divide through the process of meiosis to produce haploid gametes. In the male, the haploid sperms are produced. In the females, the haploid egg is produced. Then the male and female gametes, which are haploid, they unite, fuse together to form diploid zygote. Through the process of fertilization, the haploid gametes fuse together to form zygote, and that zygote undergoes repeated divisions, repeated mitotic divisions, and then develop into new diploid organisms. Now in case of plants, in diploid plants, the spore mother cells with diploid number of chromosomes undergo the meiosis to produce haploid spores. In diploid plants, the spore mother cells, which are diploid, which have the diploid number of chromosomes, the full number of chromosomes, they undergo the process of meiosis to produce haploid spores. These haploid spores grow into haploid structures, which produce haploid gametes by mitosis. Whenever the haploid spores are produced, those spores grow and then they produce haploid structure. and those haploid structures then produce haploid gametes by the process of mitosis this time, because the spores are haploid, so they will be divided further by mitosis, not by meiosis, because they are already haploid, so they cannot be further divided through meiosis. So the haploid spores are divided through the process of mitosis to produce haploid gametes. The gametes combine to produce diploid zygote, and then the zygote undergo repeated mitotic divisions to become the new diploid plant. The next point, that is the genetic variations during sexual reproduction. Meiosis helps to create genetic variation among the offsprings. Basically, meiosis creates genetic variations in the offsprings. The chromosome pair of each parent undergo crossing over during meiosis. We have already studied the crossing over process. So whenever the meiosis process starts in the testes of males or in the ovaries of female, so the chromosome pairs of each parent undergo crossing over. Crossing over process takes place, and we have already discussed that in the previous lecture as well as in the early part of this lecture, that in crossing over, the homologous chromosomes basically exchange their parts with each other. As a result, the new combinations are produced. So the daughter cells, i.e. the gametes, have genetic variations. As a result of crossing over, the segments are exchanged between the chromosomes, and then those chromosomes are divided into different gametes. So one diploid cell is divided into 4 haploid gametes, either sperm, or in case of females, the egg is produced. So that is haploid, as well as they have different chromosomes. So the genetic variations are there. When gametes fuse and form zygote, its genetic makeup is different from both parents. Because in case of males, suppose the 4 sperms are produced and the crossing over has already occurred, so the 4 sperms will have their chromosomes, haploid number, half number of chromosomes, and they have different chromosome, because the segments are exchanged between the chromosomes, and those newly produced chromosomes, as a result of crossing over, that will be distributed into various 4 cells. So the 4 sperms which are produced per division of meiosis, those are different from each other, and whenever they fuse with the egg, which is also different, because that is also produced as a result of meiosis. So whenever it fuses with the egg, the sperm fuses with the egg, so the new individual, the new offsprings will be produced. In the first step, zygote will be produced, and then that zygote will develop into a new offspring. So these offspring will be different. They have different genetic makeup from their parents. So these are the variations which are produced as a result of meiosis. Thus, meiosis allows a species to bring variation in the next generations. Now, beneficial variations help organisms to adapt to the change in the environment. Now, the variations which are brought by the meiosis in the next generations. Now, those individuals, those offsprings which have beneficial variations, they will have better adaptation with their environment, and they will survive, and they will propagate further. Their number will be increased. And those variations which are not beneficial for the offspring, means those variations which are not compatible with the environment, those will not be maintained, and those organisms will not survive. So those variations which are beneficial, those beneficial variations help the organism to adapt to the changing environment, and this adaptation with the changing environment increases the chances of survival. So this is all about today's lecture. See you next time with a new lecture. Take care. Allah Hafiz.